What else are you going to do when you're 60 by yourself in your isolated hedonism? And what sort of sex object are you going to be then for your hedonistic promiscuity? That's no plan. If you're still an adolescent by the time you're 40, you're a creep. You're the sort of person that you don't even want to be around. You don't want to be the oldest person at the frat party. That is not pretty. There's something rotten about that. And I mean in that contemptible sense. It's something that's overstayed its welcome, man. And you know, people are willing to forgive your immaturity when you're 22 or 23 or 28 maybe, or even 30. But man, if you're still playing that game when you're 40, you are not a happy person. And you're going to be motivated to go out there and make everyone miserable. And so grow the hell up. Responsibility. That's what gives life meaning. It's like lift a load. Then you can tolerate yourself, right? Because look at, you're useless, easily hurt, easily killed. Why should you have any self-respect? Pick something up and carry it. Make it heavy enough so that you can think, yeah, well, useless as I am, at least I could move that from there to there. And they think, well, I won't carry any load. It's like, okay, fine, but then you're like the sled dog that doesn't have a sled to pull. You're gonna tear pieces out of your own legs because you're bored. People are pack animals. They need to pull against a weight.
In Switzerland, there are some mountains that could be climbed by you and me. It takes a day to get to the top, and then you just camp up there and you come down the next day. About halfway up the mountain is what they call the halfway house. Halfway house, halfway up the mountain. So a group of people starts off with a guide in the morning, and about noon, you're kind of tired. You've been walking now for 4 or 5 hours, and you're coming up to the halfway house. And it's just a wonderful sight. Because as soon as you enter in the halfway house, you can smell the food, and they're getting ready for a good lunch, and you sit down, there's a fire in the fireplace, and there's nice soft chairs, and you can just rest your body and refresh your body. And so the people go into the halfway house, and they eat and laugh and enjoy and just really, really just kind of take in that wonderful, refreshing atmosphere. About an hour and a half after being in the halfway house, the guide gets up and says, well, gang, it's time to put on your gear. We got to hike. We got to get on up to the top. This is a fact. About half the people decide not to go on up to the top. They're sitting around the table and they're just saying, you know what, go on up. You're going to be coming by here tomorrow. You're going to be having lunch here again tomorrow. We're just going to hang here. And so the people that want to get to the top, they put their stuff on and they kind of leave. And the rest of the people sit behind. They eat a little bit more food, get around the piano, sing some songs, get around the fireplace, enjoy the fire, warm themselves by the fire. And play games all afternoon, kind of enjoy themselves. But about 4:30, 4:45 in the afternoon, without anybody saying a word, people who stayed in the halfway house, they slowly go over to where the window is, the big window, and they start looking outside, and they start looking up the top of that mountain, and as they look at the top of that mountain, they see their friends. Their friends are now getting the tents out, and they're getting ready to prepare for the night, and it becomes very quiet, very somber. Because everybody in the halfway house realizes the mistake they've made. They've sold their mission for a little bit of comfort for a few hours. Next morning, down come their friends, and by noon, they come into the halfway house. And when they come in the halfway, they are laughing, they're high-fiving, they're talking about what they've seen, where they've been, experiences, the fact that it was almost impossible to get up there. In fact, they had to help each other get up there, and how they joined teams and held hands, and they just tell them all these stories and talk about the pictures they've taken, and they got the group picture up there with the flag at the top, and the people who remain behind, they don't say much. They just eat their lunch and then follow the rest of them down to the bottom of the hill where their friends are waiting for them. And those who paid the price and went to the top, who understood now is the time to reach the mission, they hug and tell stories and celebrate. And the others, they just kind of slip off and get in their car and go home, because they realize they're never going to be what they wanted to be. They're never going to see what they wanted to see. They're never going to do what they wanted to do, because they failed to realize when they're at the halfway house, now's the time to rest, and they go on.
Pain is a good thing physically, because that is your self-preservation mechanism. But suffering is something that you do in your mind. So pain that happens in your body, you take it in your mind and multiply it 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times, depending on how capable you are or how stupid you are, and suffer it 1,000,000 times over. Right now, most human beings are like this. What happened 10 years ago, they can still suffer. What may happen day after tomorrow, they already suffer. They are not suffering life, they think they're suffering life. So for me, a human being being impactful means, how conscious have you become? This is very important. Because if you're in compulsive cycles, then your energy gets wasted in so many things. If you observe people, so literally 50% of life is gone, daily basis, just for basic maintenance of this life. 50% of the time is gone in maintenance, the remaining 50%, what they have. If you look at every single move that they make with their body, their thought process, their emotions, you will see a whole lot of it is happening in compulsive cycles. Your experience is entirely determined by you. This is what the word karma means, unfortunately. It becomes something else here. Karma means action. It means when we say your life is your karma, we are saying your life is entirely your making. Percent. What happens in the world, there are many, many forces involved. What happens within me, it's 100% me. 100%, isn't it? If you don't take charge of this, then you're an accidental life. When you're an accidental life, anxiety is very natural. Natural, isn't it? Suppose you're driving accidentally, that is, you don't know what's happening and you're simply somehow going, anxiety is natural or no?
Yes.
Any accidental movement creates anxiety. So this is why consciousness means this, that you have taken charge of the instruments of life, which on most fundamental level is our physiological and psychological space. You've taken charge of this. Now your health, your happiness, your joy, your ecstasy, your misery, everything is in your hands. You exercise them as you want.
The most important thing is to work upon yourself. What does it mean by saying working upon yourself physically? Just set up small goals for yourself for the next few weeks. Suppose you're 18 for the last 30 years. When you became 18, if you did bend down, how far would you go? At that time, maybe it went all the way to the floor. Today, maybe it's like this. Just see if you can go 6 inches more. When you were 18 years of age, how quickly you went up a staircase. Today, how you're plodding up the staircase. See if you can improve it by 10, 20%. 20 improvement in the next 2 weeks. Just check your picture when you were 18 or below, how you would stand, how straight you were. And now, if you become like this, straighten yourself up a little bit. Look further back, what kind of smile you had when you were 6, 8, 10 years of age. See if you can get 50 of that back on your face all the time. Not by simply grinning a plastic smile, but bring that magic back into you. If you cannot do anything fantastic, at least you must be a pleasant piece of life on this planet. This is something that you owe to yourself and to everybody who lives around you. This you must do. So set up your own kind of goals and see. It's not difficult, I'm telling you. Just needs little attention. Right now, people think they're carrying the world on their head. No, no. Just in case you are in Sirashasan right now, and you take a picture and turn it around, it looks like you're carrying the planet on your head, but that's not the truth. Whether you are on your feet or on your head, planet is carrying you, and it's spinning by itself. Day and night is happening by itself. Seasons are changing by itself. Sun comes and goes by itself. Really, there's nothing to do. These few weeks are for time for you to realize everything that is significant in the universe is happening by itself. It's for you to sit here and enjoy the bounty of life. Just make use of this. Do not act like you are running the whole planet, or you're running the whole universe for that matter. You are not. It is happening by itself. You are a tiny little creature who is here for a little bit of time. Don't make so much fuss about it. To handle a few years of life, do not make such a big fuss. These few weeks you must come out as a more pleasant and wonderful human being. This is the greatest thing you can do to yourself. If you sit here, this person is a pleasant experience for you. If you are a pleasant experience for yourself, everybody else will also experience this person as a pleasant experience. What great things you will do or not do, that is subject to various realities. Nobody can fix it 100%. You must understand, our actions are largely determined by the times in which we exist. Suppose you were here 5,000 years ago. 5,000 years ago, if you were here and the virus came to you, you didn't have to do any social distancing because anyway there was nobody around you. Even if you wanted to infect, you couldn't find a person. So you need to understand what we are doing. Our actions and what we do and do not do is the times in which we exist.